Look at your hands for a moment. Those hands you're looking at right now, they hold more power than you realize. Every morning, millions of people wake up, go through their day, and never tap into the incredible strength that lives inside them. But you're different. You're here because something deep inside you knows there's more. You can feel it, can't you? That pull towards something greater. I want you to think about the last time someone told you that you couldn't do something. Remember how that felt? The doubt creeping in, the fear trying to take over. Now here's what's interesting. That moment right there, that's not your weakness. That's your wake-up call. That's your invitation to prove them wrong. You see, developing a strong mindset isn't just about positive thinking. It's not about repeating empty words in front of a mirror. It's about building something real, something lasting, something that nobody can take away from you. And today, right here, right now, we're going to break it down into steps so clear, so practical, that you'll wonder why nobody showed you this before. But before we dive in, I need to know something. Are you truly ready? Because what I'm about to share with you isn't just information, it's transformation. And transformation, that's not for everyone. That's for the people who are ready to step up, to dig deep, to do the work when nobody's watching. Think about this. Every great achievement in history started with a decision. The Wright brothers didn't wake up one morning knowing how to fly. Martin Luther King Jr. didn't just happen to have a dream. They made a choice. They chose to believe in something bigger than their fears. And that's exactly what you're doing right here, right now. Let me paint you a picture of two paths. The first path is comfortable, familiar, and safe. It's the path where you keep doing what you've always done, thinking what you've always thought, being who you've always been. No risks, no challenges, no growth. Just the slow, quiet comfort of staying exactly where you are. Now, the second path, that's the path we're talking about today. It's the path of development, of growth, of becoming. It's not always comfortable. In fact, it rarely is. But here's what's at stake. On this path lies everything you've ever dreamed of becoming. Every goal you've whispered to yourself late at night. Every dream you've been afraid to say out loud. Think about where you'll be 5 years from now if you don't make this change. Same struggles, same fears, same limitations. Now think about where you could be if you do. Think about walking into rooms with unshakable confidence. Think about facing challenges with clarity and strength. Think about becoming the person others look to for inspiration. I'm going to tell you something that might sound harsh, but you need to hear it. The cost of not developing a strong mindset isn't just about missed opportunities. It's about becoming a spectator in your own life. It's about watching others achieve what you know in your heart you're capable of. It's about looking back years from now and wondering, what if? Every day you wait is another day someone else is out there building their strength, sharpening their mind, moving closer to their goals. Every moment you spend doubting yourself is a moment you could be using to grow, to learn, to become. The stakes aren't just high, they're everything. When people talk about developing a strong mindset, they often jump straight to the big moments, the breakthrough victories, the finish lines. But that's like trying to build a house starting with the roof. We need to talk about where it really begins, right where you are, right now, with everything you've got and everything you don't. I remember sitting in my first apartment, bills piling up, dreams feeling like they were slipping away. The easy thing would have been to blame circumstances, to point fingers at everything that wasn't fair. But that's not where strength comes from. Strength comes from looking at exactly where you are and saying, this is my starting point, not my ending point. Starting where you are means taking honest inventory. Look at your habits, the good ones and the bad ones. Look at your thoughts, the ones that lift you up and the ones that drag you down. Look at your relationships, the ones that fuel your growth and the ones that drain your energy. This isn't about judgment, it's about clarity. You see, most people want to skip this part. They want to jump straight to success without building the foundation. But here's what I know for sure. Every strong mindset is built on the foundation of self-awareness. You've got to know your starting point to plot your course. Take out a piece of paper right now. Write down 3 things. First, write down where you are. Be brutally honest. Second, write down where you want to be. Dream big. Third, write down what's been holding you back. No sugarcoating. This isn't just an exercise. This is your map. You might look at that paper and feel overwhelmed. Good. That feeling, that's not weakness. That's awareness waking up. That's your mind starting to stretch. That's the beginning of strength. Remember something crucial. Your starting point doesn't determine your destination. It just determines your first step. Some of you might be starting from rock bottom. Some might be starting halfway up the mountain. It doesn't matter. What matters is that you're starting. Think about a master builder laying the foundation for a skyscraper. They spend more time below ground than above it at first. Why? Because they know that what you don't see determines what you will see. Your mindset works the same way. These early days, these fundamental steps up, they're not glamorous, but they're everything. Starting where you are means accepting your current reality while refusing to be limited by it. It means understanding that every strong mindset was once a weak one that refused to stay that way. It means knowing that your past experiences, good and bad, aren't your limitations. They're your teaching tools. I want you to understand something deeply. This moment, right now, reading these words, thinking these thoughts, this is your foundation moment. This is where it begins. Not tomorrow, not when conditions are perfect, not when you feel more ready. Right now. You might be thinking, but I've tried to change before. I've started over so many times. Good. That means you've got experience. That means you know what hasn't worked. That means you're better equipped than ever to start again, this time with real understanding, this time with a clear map, this time with the tools that actually work. Your starting point is just that, a starting point. It's not a prediction. It's not a limitation. It's not a judgment. It's just the place where your new story begins. And that story, it's about to get very, very interesting. Let's talk about that voice in your head. You know exactly which one I'm talking about. That voice that kicks in right when you're about to try something new. The one that says, you're not ready, or you're not good enough, or this isn't going to work. That voice has been with you so long, you might think it's just part of who you are. But today we're going to change that story. Think about this. Every single thought in your head is like a brick in a wall. Over the years, you've been building this wall with thoughts of doubt, fear, and limitation. Some of these bricks were handed to you by others, teachers who didn't believe in you, friends who said you were dreaming too big, family members who thought they were protecting you by lowering your expectations, and some you laid down yourself. But here's the thing about walls. They can be torn down. They can be rebuilt. And that's exactly what we're going to do. We're going to rebuild your inner voice brick by brick, thought by thought, story by story. This isn't about positive thinking. This isn't about pretending everything is perfect. This is about telling yourself the truth, the real truth, not the scared truth. When that voice says, I can't, you're going to add 3 simple words. I can't yet. When it says, this is too hard, you're going to finish the sentence. This is too hard, but I'm harder. When it whispers, you're going to fail, you're going to respond, maybe, but I'm going to fail forward. This isn't just wordplay. Your brain believes what you tell it consistently. That's not motivation. That's science. Every time you replace a negative thought with a realistic, growth-oriented one, you're literally rewiring your brain. You're creating new pathways, stronger pathways, better pathways. The key is to catch yourself in those moments of doubt. Don't wait until the negative thoughts have already taken over. Catch them early, challenge them immediately, replace them consistently. It's like being your own mental bodyguard, standing at the door of your mind, checking the ID of every thought that tries to enter. Now we're getting into the meat of it, your daily power routine. This is where dreams turn into plans, and plans turn into reality. Listen closely, because what I'm about to share with you isn't just a schedule, it's a success system that's going to transform your mindset from the inside out. First thing in the morning, before you check your phone, before you turn on the TV, before you let the world start making demands on your time, you need 30 minutes. Just 30 minutes that belong to you. This is non-negotiable. This is your power time. This is when you set the tone for your entire day. Start with 10 minutes of pure silence. No music, no noise, just you and your breathing. I know what you're thinking. I don't have time for this. But here's the truth. You don't have time not to do this. This silence isn't empty. It's full of potential. It's where you gather your strength, where you center yourself, where you remind yourself who you are and what you're building. Then you're going to read. Not social media, not news headlines. Real reading. Something that feeds your mind, that teaches you, that makes you stronger. Could be a chapter from a book. Could be an article about your field. Could be something inspirational. The point is, you're putting good stuff in your mind before the world starts trying to fill it with noise. Movement comes next. I'm not talking about a 2-hour gym session, though if you can do it. I'm talking about 15 minutes of moving your body. Push-ups, sit-ups, a quick walk, something that gets your blood flowing and reminds your body that it's ready for action. Your body and mind are connected. When you strengthen one, you strengthen the other. Last part of your power routine, gratitude and goals. Write down 3 things you're grateful for, right then and there. Then write down your top 3 goals for the day. Not a long to-do list. 3 main things that will move you forward. This does something powerful to your brain. It combines appreciation for what you have with determination for what you want. Now we're going to talk about something that separates the dreamers from the doers, facing your fears, not avoiding them, not trying to go around them, but walking straight through them. Because here's something you need to understand. Fear isn't your enemy. Fear is your compass. It points directly to where you need to grow. Think about this. Every single person you admire every success story you've ever heard, every achievement that inspires you, behind all of them is someone who was afraid but moved forward anyway. They weren't fearless, they were courageous. And there's a big difference. Fear shows up in many disguises. Sometimes it looks like procrastination. You'll do it tomorrow, next week, when you're more ready. Sometimes it looks like perfectionism. It's not quite right yet. It needs more work. It's not good enough. Sometimes it looks like busyness. You've got too much on your plate right now. You'll get to it when things calm down. But here's what I want you to do. I want you to start seeing fear as a challenge, not a warning. When you feel that knot in your stomach, when your heart starts racing, when your mind starts coming up with a million reasons why you should wait, that's your signal to move forward, not back away. Start small if you need to. You don't have to jump off the highest cliff first, but you do need to jump. Make that phone call you've been putting off. Sign up for that class that intimidates you. Speak up in that meeting when your heart is pounding. Each small act of courage builds your confidence muscle. Remember something crucial. Courage isn't about not being scared. Courage is about being scared and moving forward anyway. It's about understanding that on the other side of your fear is everything you want. Your dreams, your goals, your better self. They're all waiting for you on the other side of fear. Look at fear like this. It's not a wall, it's a door. And every time you walk through that door, you get stronger. Every time you face a fear, you prove to yourself that you're capable of more than you thought. This isn't just about getting what you want. It's about becoming who you're meant to be. Let me tell you something that might be hard to hear. Your mindset is only as strong as the 5 people you spend the most time with. That's right. Look around you. The people in your life right now are either lifting you up or pulling you down. There's no middle ground when it comes to building a strong mindset. Think about your circle like a garden. Some people are like sunshine. They bring light to your dreams, warmth to your goals. Others are like weeds. They might have been there a long time, but they're draining your energy, taking up space where better things could grow. It's time to do some gardening in your life. This isn't about being cold or cutting everyone off. This is about being intentional, about understanding that every conversation you have, every interaction you engage in, is either feeding your growth or feeding your doubts. You need people who will tell you the truth, not just what you want to hear. People who will pick you up when you fall, but won't let you stay down. Start looking for mentors, even if they're not directly accessible to you. Read their books, watch their talks, study their habits. Join groups where growth-minded people gather. Seek out conversations that challenge you to think bigger. Remember, you're not just looking for cheerleaders, you're looking for people who will push you to be better. And here's the part that might feel uncomfortable. Sometimes building your circle means letting go of old relationships that no longer serve your growth. Some people are in your life for a season, and that's okay. Thank them for their part in your journey, and then move forward. Your growth is not negotiable. Now let's talk about something that's going to happen on your journey. Setbacks. Not if they happen, but when they happen. Because they will happen. You're going to fail. You're going to fall. You're going to make mistakes that make you want to crawl under a rock and stay there. And that's exactly when your strong mindset needs to kick in. Here's what most people get wrong about failure. They see it as the opposite of success, but that's not true. Failure isn't the opposite of success. It's part of success. Every setback, every mistake, every moment that feels like a step backward is actually setting you up for a comeback. Think about a time you failed at something important to you. Remember how that felt? Now let me ask you something. What did you learn from that moment? Because here's the truth. Failure is just feedback. It's information. It's your life saying, not this way, try another way. The only real failure is not learning from what went wrong. I want you to start doing something different when things go wrong. Instead of asking, why me? Ask, what's next? Instead of saying, I messed up, say, I learned. Instead of thinking, this is terrible, think, this is teaching me something. This isn't about positive thinking. It's about productive thinking. Keep a failure journal. Yes, you heard me right. Write down every setback, every mistake, every failure. But here's the key. Next to each one, write down what it taught you, what you're going to do differently next time, how it made you stronger. Watch how quickly your failures transform into stepping stones. Let's talk about something that most people overlook in their journey to a stronger mindset: celebrating small wins. You might think this isn't important, that you should save your celebration for the big victories. But that's like saying you'll only water your garden when it's fully grown. Every time you choose the harder right over the easier wrong, that's a win. Every time you push through when you want to quit, that's a win. Every time you face a fear, speak up when you want to stay quiet, or try something new when you want to stay comfortable. Those are all wins. And they all deserve to be acknowledged. Start keeping a victory log. At the end of each day, write down 3 things you did right, no matter how small they seem. Did you make your bed this morning? Win. Did you drink water instead of soda? Win. Did you read 1 page of that book you've been meaning to finish? Win. These small victories stack up, building your confidence, strengthening your resolve. Remember, your mind needs evidence of progress. It needs to know that you're moving forward, even if the steps are small. When you celebrate small wins, you're telling your brain, we can do this. We are doing this. Keep going. This is your final key to developing a strong mindset, and it might be the most important one. Never stop growing. The moment you think you've arrived, that's the moment you start falling behind. Your mind is like a muscle. If you're not constantly challenging it, it starts to weaken. Every day, ask yourself, what can I learn today? How can I be better today than I was yesterday? It's not about being perfect. It's about being better. It's about staying hungry for knowledge, for growth, for improvement. Read books that challenge your thinking. Have conversations with people who see the world differently than you do. Try new things that scare you a little. Push your boundaries. Step out of your comfort zone. Because here's the truth. Comfort is the enemy of growth. As we wrap up, I want you to understand something fundamental. Everything we've talked about today, from acknowledging your starting point to staying hungry for growth, it all begins with a decision. Your decision, right here, right now. You see, a strong mindset isn't something you're born with. It's something you build. Day by day, choice by choice, moment by moment. And the beautiful thing is, you've already taken the first step just by being here, by choosing to learn, by deciding that you want more for yourself. Remember, your journey to a stronger mindset isn't about becoming someone else. It's about becoming more fully yourself. It's about peeling away the layers of doubt, fear, and limitation, that have been holding back the real you. So tomorrow morning, when you look in that mirror, you're going to see something different. You're going to see someone who's ready, someone who's prepared, someone who's on their way to becoming unstoppable, because that's who you are when you decide to be. Your time is now. Your journey begins here. And I want you to know something. I believe in you. Now go out there and show the world what you're made of. Remember, it's not about being fearless. It's about being courageous. It's not about being perfect. It's about being persistent. And it's not about where you start. It's about where you're determined to go. Stand up, step up, and never, ever give up. Your strong mindset is waiting for you. Go get it.